This is a demonstration of the basic operation of the FotoView program. Our first requirement is to load a script file. We can select a script file. We have an example here. This gives us a summary of the information in the script file. We accept that. We now process the 2 feet in the file. So first we display left. We're shown the 3D scan information. We now need to align this, so we select alignment. The top 2 options are related to specific laboratory tasks, so they should be ignored. We will always align flat. When we select that, we have a tool bar selected. We wish to place 3 reference points, one at the heel, one at the ball, and one at the adjacent position to the ball. This is the low point at the front of the foot. The easiest way is to pick place points, and they will assume you place in the specified order. We select that. Prompts me down here, place heel point. So we place a point at the low point of the heel. We now place a point at the low point of the ball of the foot, and our final point is the low point on the opposite side or adjacent point of the foot. This defines a plane. We can now align this according to whether we want a lateral or medial alignment. This relates to any varus or valgus angle. In this case there is no angle specified, so we can choose either. We then get a choice to overwrite some values. These would typically come in the configuration file. At this stage they're also 0, so we accept that. The foot is now positioned, and we have the option to rescale it. In this case we have the distances between the 3 reference points. If we measure those reference points on the actual foot, we're able to check or rescale the 3D scan mesh. Sometimes scanners work accurately and sometimes they're slightly out. So in this case we apply that, we get a scale factor applied, and we now have the foot aligned. We can now adjust the foot. We go to adjust mesh. The basic function is you pick the sole of the foot. You now get a toolbar where you can change the position of the foot. The orange outline represents the foot profile for the size of the patient. So we can rotate this into position and move it into position. Until it aligns with the orange. At this point we could go to a front view to see that the mesh is properly aligned. In this case you can see we're very slightly low, so we could just move it a little bit, and then we can go back to the sole position. At this point we can optionally select a toe plate. We can choose from a range of toe plates. We'll check the example, and we can move the toe plate into position. We then close the menu. We're happy with that as our alignment, so we process the foot. We've now processed the left foot. There's a display up in the top right of the screen which tells us the left foot has been processed. This is useful if you're called away and have to come back after you're halfway through processing. We now pick up the right foot. Again, we've got the scan data. It's a 3D surface, and we repeat the process, which is align flat, place points, pick the heel, pick the ball, pick the adjacent, select the alignment axis, accept that. Now apply any minor rescaling. We then go sole of the foot and position it in the reference orange line. The foot will normally come in more accurately positioned if you take the effort to measure the heel point when you're doing the original scan. This information is stored in the script file and can be picked up by this program to help position, but it really just slows down the alignment. Again, we pick the toe plate, move that into position, accept that. We now process this foot. So we've now processed both feet as seen up here. We now write the foot data to disk. And that's the 2 feet processed in the FotoView program.